Public relations firm Edelman and Standard Bank Group have agreed to part ways. The two have agreed to end their partnership effective January next year. According to reports, the reason behind the split stems from Edelman's refusal to work on the East African crude oil pipeline. Moeng brand reputation management advisor says the matter raises questions that demand answers. He joins me now for more on this. A very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for your time. Edelman's split from Standard Bank has, I suppose, reopened the conversation about the role of public relations and business impact on matters like the country's social harmony. In this instance, Edelman's work with energy companies has been under the microscope for quite some time, with a lot of public scrutiny and requests for the company to stop working with fossil fuel clients. What is your reaction in the wake of the news?
Yeah, hi point to your audience out there, to your spectators. Look, I think it's a good thing. As you say, this is not a new debate. It's a good thing that there's an impetus for it to happen, to raise its volume again, as it were, because of the split between Standard Bank and Edelman. Look, for too many years, people who speak on behalf of brands, companies, organizations, governments have been at the forefront of lies, of misleading communities out there. It's during state capture and corruption. Even today, we have government spokespersons in South Africa who lie, who know the truth about a lot of things, but who lie to us. And I think that we should get to a point where they must take responsibility. We can't have somebody coming to mislead the public on crucial issues that had the public interest, and they get away by saying, no, I was just doing my work. I'm just paying. I'm paid to say this is the message. I think that there's got to be more. We have to raise the level of responsibility. For PR agencies that lie, spin doctoring, we know what Potgieter did, and spokespersons who know that they're lying, their employees have done wrong, and who lie to us.
I suppose it's quite a thin line because, if you have to look at it broadly, of course, there are ethics that should, form some sort of moral compass when it comes to PR agencies and the way they conduct business. You have written before that PR agencies don't simply impose themselves on their clients and that there's a process that needs to unfold. How does it all work?
Well, first of all, they might not impose themselves, but they accept the commission. They have a choice not to accept it in the same way that Edelman has decided, look, we're not comfortable taking this one on. We know that PR agencies usually respond to a pitch. There's a call for proposals. They propose. Or sometimes a client might decide, we're not going to advertise this one. We're just going to choose 5, 6, 7, or 8. I've been in that space on both sides of the divide, where we say we're going to identify some key agencies, invite them to submit proposals, and it's an iterative process. They come and present, we engage them. In the end, you end up saying, okay, this is the best proposal. But in the end, in the final end, the customer says, okay, I'm happy with this proposal. Let's go with it. It's not like the agency comes in and say, hey, this is what's going to happen. It's not like Potgieter came to South Africa and said, hey, we're going to run a racist campaign for you. Somebody paid them. And we know that the Gupta brothers and Duduzane Zuma were named in that. But we have so much focus on the agency. There's a responsibility that needs to be taken by both. Agencies have to be ethical. They have to accept whether or not a commission that is about to be given to them, no matter how much money it's going to bring to them, is divisive, it's going to cause public harm. And they need to say, no, we're not going to take this one. But people who also pay agencies, who brief agencies, who pay them, if you look at Potgieter, they were paid for more than a year, retainers every month. And I know I've been in this space. I am in that space where you get paid every month. You submit monthly reports. You say, okay, this is what we did last month. This is what we're planning to do next year. The client says, yeah, it's great. Okay, but what about this? What about this? They pay. So there's a relationship of two sides that are willing to mislead the public, and we need to have a situation where there are consequences for that sort of thing.
You speak about Potgieter, and of course, I suppose it reminds us again about some of the processes that may have followed with the brief and who may have signed it off, really raising a lot of question marks.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing that really hurt me, even at the time, is that we South Africans, even Zuzi Koto at the time, spokesperson for the ANC, came on he was invited on radio stations and TV stations, and all he said was, how can this agency come from the UK and come to South Africa to undo the gains of our democracy? But excuse me, Zuma, whom he defended, had a son who was working with the Guptas. They are the ones who paid, who brought this agency to South Africa. Nobody was focusing on that. You know what I'm saying? So we need to make sure that people take responsibility, and there's got to be consequences. South Africa has been turned into a country of no consequences. People do stuff, and they point fingers elsewhere. Somebody has to take responsibility. And we fall for it all the time. Why is South Africa on its knees economically right now? Why is social harmony so hurt? So why are race relations so damaged now? Now we see courts saying it's okay to sing "Kill the Bull, kill the farmer." And that's nonsense. Okay, we need to go to a point where we say, what kind of country do we want? What is acceptable? What is not acceptable? What are the values that should underpin this Republic of South Africa? Until we get there, everybody is going to be running in their own directions, and we're going to be seen rudderless. But there's a price to be paid for that. PR people, agencies, spokespersons for government must be able to say, I can't lie to the public about this. This cannot be right. PR agencies need to be able to say, look, it seems like a really interesting project, but it's not good for the public good. Therefore, we can't take it. We have to inculcate a situation where that becomes the norm for them not to take commissions that are hurtful to public opinion, no matter how much money they bring to them. Until there are consequences, people will keep doing that.
And, we're sort of seeing the same pattern. Take, for instance, Bain and Co., where we are still yet to see where the accountability may lie with the global consulting firm like that.
Well, look, the truth is a lot of information is out there, just like on state capture. A lot of information is out there. We waited for authorities in the United Kingdom to act against Belt Potgieter. We never took steps against Belt Potgieter. Nobody did. We just criticized them. Bain and Company, same thing. Arthur Williams, who wrote the book on the deep collusion. Everybody must read that book. If you really want to understand what took place in South Africa, read Arthur Williams' book, okay? He had to go all the way to flee the country, as a matter of fact. Went all the way to the UK, lobbied Lord Hayne to say, look, please, you have access to the British government. This company is still making money in Britain. Can you tell them exactly what they did to South Africa? And he did. Two men who have huge interest in the well-being of South Africa. They went to the UK and got the United Kingdom government to listen, to look at the facts and say, we can't do business with these people anymore. In South Africa, there are state institutions that are doing work with Bain and Company. Bain and Company has been lying from the beginning. It's still lying to us. Nobody has stood up. The president should be the first one to say, we can't. I came here on a clean agenda. I came here to clean up. I came here on a New Dawn campaign. We can't have the same companies that facilitated state capture and other forms of corruption to continue benefiting from state institutions. He might not have the direct authority to fire them from these institutions, but he's the president. He's the CEO of South Africa Inc. He should stand up and say, that's not right. You can't be working with those people. And it's up to those officials in those institutions to say, okay, you know what, we can't work with these people. But they're still making money out of South Africa. They're still lying to us. They issue silly statements in South Africa saying, oh, no, nobody understands us. Excuse me, the information is out there. These people have damaged SARS. SARS is important for South Africa's developmental program. It's important. Well, if the country is not able to collect the tax revenue that it needs to finance economic development, education, health, and infrastructure, and all of these things, then the country collapses. They damage SARS. SARS was working well. This company came in South Africa in cahoots with Jacob Zuma. Jacob Zuma brought this company in. Jacob Zuma said to them, you're going to prepare Tom Moeng to take over SARS, and this is the campaign that's going to happen there. Tom Moeng was prepared for more than a year by Bain and Company at the behest of Jacob Zuma, and he damaged SARS to the point where South Africa was not able to collect the income that it needs to help South Africans, especially the poorest of the poor. So this Wednesday Zuma stuff, South Africans need to wake up. We are responsible for some of the things that are happening in South Africa. Bain and Company must leave. Ramaphosa must stand up and say, Bain and Company, leave South Africa. These institutions were still employing this company, and others, not just Bain and Company. They must tell them to go. People who speak on behalf of these companies, even South Africans, many of them are South Africans who are paid local to speak on behalf of these companies, must be told, you need to stop. You need to look at the bigger picture. Everything mustn't be about, I'm going to get my salary, I'm going to get my retainer, therefore it's okay. When so much damage is being done to our beautiful republic, so much damage is done to the potential that we had as a country.
Absolutely. Some sound advice there. Thank you so much for your time. Soli Moeng is a brand reputation management advisor speaking to the role of PR agencies and spokespeople. We do